I'm talking money, talking money, I'm talking money, talking money. If you ain't getting none, it might sound funny.
What's up, y'all? They call me Cheddar. Let's get this cheese. All right, now again, quick reminder: I do this for entertainment and opinions, not for financial advice. Don't open these videos and then go out and immediately start buying, the tickers you see. We're here to talk. We're here to learn. Anyway, this video is a little bit later. I plan to drop this a little earlier. I'll explain throughout the video why it's a little later. We'll get there. But what I want y'all to take a look at the very beginning is what we're about to discuss. I made a quick little watch list of the top 6 companies that are leading the charge for the COVID vaccine worldwide, right? So before we get too deep, I want to just mention that I don't want to get political about the COVID vaccine. This is not about pro-vax, anti-vax, whatever. This is about the finances. This is about these companies. So as you can see, we got BioNTech right here. That's the one we were looking at originally. But we also got Novavax. We also got AstraZeneca. We also got Pfizer. We also got Moderna. And we also got Johnson & Johnson. Okay, so I'm sure some of you saw the news Tuesday morning, April 13th. Once we woke up, it was kind of breaking news across the world that the United States, the CDC, was recommending a pause in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Now, I'm sure if you look at this stock chart again, because that's what we're here to talk about is these stocks, you can kind of see automatically where that breaking news hit. Again, I'm on the 5-day, 5-minute chart right now. So every candle is 5 minutes long. I'll do a different video where we'll talk about candles in case you want to know more specifically about candles. But anyway, I'm sure you can see right here where the drop started to happen. That news broke and we see big red drops from the Johnson & Johnson company. Now, if you wanted to, short the stock, if you wanted to buy put options, that's a pretty common tactic of investors and traders when you see negative breaking news. When news breaks out that is not positive for the company, you can benefit from that. There are some people who like to go short or, again, like I said, buy put options. That can benefit. If you buy puts and, it has to be the right kind of put. You got to know about your options. But puts, shorts, etc., these big red candles, very beneficial. You can make a lot of money depending on, how you bet. So we see right here, the breaking news comes out that the CDC recommends Johnson & Johnson stops administering the vaccine worldwide because of a new case of rare blood clots. Now, we'll talk a little bit further about that. I don't want to be, that guy, but there is some both sides to this because I look at the stock chart, and as we get here to the afternoon, we see that most of this dip got bought. We see the bright red right here as the news breaks. And so, of course, we see a huge dip, negative news. But then throughout the day, we see just a slow accumulation, a green climb. Here we go. Back to almost, not quite, they got back to the 160 level, not quite 162 where it was about to open before the news. But they got all the way back to that level because, people like to buy the dip. Again, I don't want to be the numbers guy, but the report said there are 6 cases of this rare blood clot out of over 6 million vaccines administered. So, again, we're here to do the numbers. We're talking stock charts, not, science or whatever, but that's literally 1 in a million. 1 in a million could be anything. I don't know the odds. I'm not going to compare it to other things, but just know that is literal 1 in a million chance to, have this situation with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. However, breaking news, negative news, they're halting it. They're swapping it out for other companies. You see what happens. So I'm doing this video a little later than planned, like you said, so you can even see a little pre-market action starting Wednesday morning. First big candle that you see, it's another red candle. It's not a huge drop, not like yesterday morning when the news broke, but that buy the dip yesterday afternoon, that support up there, that resistance at 160 seemed to hold pretty strong. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is why I made the watch list is because if you look at Moderna and we zoom out to that same time frame, what do you notice when Johnson & Johnson dropped the news? not only did the money flow out of, let's go back one real quick, we saw the big red candles. Not only did the money flow out of Johnson & Johnson, the money flowed in to Moderna. How interesting is that? Look, right here at the same time, Tuesday morning, breaking news. I don't know if they're literal, people invested in biotech and bio companies or whatever, big money, decided to move from Johnson & Johnson to Moderna. You see the big green candles for Moderna that popped up right there. And I think that's impressive. You see, they rode that wave all day long. They were about to open Tuesday morning down here 140, 142. Then that news broke. The money moved from Johnson & Johnson's right here, same time, exact same time in the day. The money's dropping off out of Johnson & Johnson and moving into Moderna. So you see that big pop from the 142 area all the way up to about the 150 area before, a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of sell-off, and then the continued pop, a continued climb. Look at this, all the way, up to the 152s, 153s, 154. And right now we're looking at Wednesday morning, there's another climb. Once it opened, once the money started to be able to flow in, 4 o'clock West Coast or 7 o'clock East Coast, we see more green for Moderna. Now, it's so funny to me that this news broke, and I got this list of the different companies. I also want to look at Pfizer. Let's see Pfizer's details as well. What did they do? Very similar. When Johnson & Johnson news broke, Pfizer had a nice big pop, little consolidation, and then even more pop. Now Pfizer has a different share structure. You see, they're not $100 stock, they're $30-something stock. So although they had the move, you're gonna see less, cents per dollar kind of, as a move. It's only went from 36.90 to a high of $37.65. That's not even a full dollar, but in percentage, if you're looking at it in percentage and not in dollar movement, you see that Pfizer also had a nice solid pop the same way Moderna had, but Moderna had a much better pop. Moderna had the best pop of the morning. It's looking like, scientifically speaking at least, that the Moderna vaccine is the one that is gonna be out here saving the world. Now, speaking, simply on the market cap, let me see can I go to this app doesn't quite have all of the details. I would pull up something like FinViz or Yahoo Finance. You just go search the company, however, but Moderna does have a much smaller market cap than a company like Johnson & Johnson and a company like Pfizer. These are big money companies. Pfizer's a little bit big. Pfizer's bigger than Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson is even bigger than Pfizer. But, with that comes the territory of like the public mistakes that Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and people like that have on their records. So this is one of those like too big to fail kind of things. So even if it's 6 out of 6 million, you can see the drastic move in the money markets that kind of caused. Big drop off for Johnson & Johnson, big money move over to Moderna, and a nice size money move over to Pfizer as well. I really focused on those three. I don't know as much about AstraZeneca, partially because, again, they're having some of these same issues over where they're being administered, not in the U.S. So I'm not as familiar with these charts, but I think we can kind of see, a little bit of similarities. Not quite the same, but a afternoon pop for AstraZeneca that did not hold. You see, it's up, but when the consolidation happens, it doesn't hold that support right there at the 49.3 level, and boom, crashed all the way back to below when the pop started. So no, AstraZeneca did not have the same, benefit from that news that Johnson & Johnson dropped. AstraZeneca didn't have that same benefit. Let's see about Novavax. If we move over to the Novavax chart, and we go look here Tuesday morning, yes, Novavax did benefit, actually a huge benefit. Look at this, 175 move all the way up to the 200s before consolidation, and it looks like it held that. Here we are Wednesday morning. I'm seeing a couple green candles to start Novavax's morning, so they're holding most of those gains from yesterday. So again, Johnson & Johnson is a huge company, huge market cap, and when some of that money sees the breaking news, the negative news, and decides to move their money, it can be a benefit for those that are succeeding in that same industry. So again, I was gonna say, I think I found it pretty interesting that we woke up to Johnson & Johnson's negative news, because that was the same day that I had scheduled to go get my next vaccine. It's funny, I actually already took the Moderna one a couple weeks ago. I'm in Los Angeles. I don't know, it's just what was available to me at the time. But if I did my own research and, did support the vax, I, thought that the Moderna, the science behind the MRNA technology seemed pretty impressive, seemed cooler. The Johnson & Johnson technology behind the vaccine and the Moderna technology behind the vaccine is not the same. They are not administering the same product at all. It's part of the reason that Johnson & Johnson can have a one shot. It's part of the reason Moderna, and Pfizer both have the shot with the then follow-up booster shot. So I woke up Tuesday morning scheduled to get my follow-up booster shot. And I saw, you wake up, you turn on the news, CNBC for me. I don't watch any other news anymore. I dislike the local news. And the bigger news, in my opinion, are significantly slanted. So the only news I really turn on now is CNBC. So that news is here to affect the financial markets. And, what we saw first thing is negative news about the vaccine. So of course, you do a double take like, wait, what's going on? Because I'm supposed to go get that this morning. But it turns out, again, the Moderna, let's go back to their chart. Moderna got the nice significant pop Tuesday morning because they're not using the same technology as Johnson & Johnson. They're not having the same problems as Johnson & Johnson. It would be difficult for an mRNA vaccine to cause these same kind of blood clots, from what I understand. Now, again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a virologist. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. We're just looking at these charts. We're, finding ways to make money. It looks like some call options on Moderna would have worked. Obviously, just buying some shares would have worked. And the reverse for Johnson & Johnson here. So as the morning goes along, we see, like I said, one little big red candle and a little bit of consolidation. We'll see what else goes on this morning with these companies, but something interesting to keep an eye on. For the record, I'm feeling just fine. I do know that some people had side effects from their second vaccine. I got a couple friends that were like, yeah, man, I didn't feel too hot. I felt like I had a hangover, et cetera, et cetera. So me, I kind of pre-prepped for my second Moderna vaccine, especially waking up to the breaking news of the Johnson & Johnson. I kind of overhydrated and made sure to rest. So that's why this video came out a little later than you would expect. But I didn't have any problems from the vaccine so far. Knock on wood. Both of them seem, very solid for me. I know that not everybody relates to that same thing, but again, just for the sake of the Johnson & Johnson, this drop, this money, we saw some of this dip get bought because 6 out of 6 million isn't a lot of people, and a lot of things can happen if we're talking about 1 in a million numbers. So I don't know, we'll look more into these stocks. We'll probably come back around to Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Novavax, and BioNTech one more time. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to take a look at these with me because those were the ones that caught my eye on Tuesday. Again, video's a little late because when they had breaking vaccine news, I was going to get my vaccine. It's all very funny, but I feel just fine. I'm glad that that people were able to make money both ways on the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson moves. So go ahead, follow me on Twitter, Professor Cheddar. We could talk more about these stocks, other stocks, whatever you want to do. All right, you guys have a good one.
You know it's the cheddar man, ballin' like a letter man.